Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. Now, if you're watching this video, chances are you're not here for entertainment. You're here because you need money and you probably need it very quickly. Maybe an unexpected bill popped up. Maybe your paycheck is still a week away, or maybe you just need a short-term cushion to hold you over, and that is exactly what we're talking about today. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 cash advance apps that allow you to access money quickly, and in many cases with no credit check at all. Some of these options fund instantly, and some of them allow you to apply directly from your phone, and unlike traditional loans, you're not dealing with long approval timelines, hard inquiries, or strict credit score requirements. Now, I want to be very clear about something up front. These are not get-rich-quick tools, and they are not long-term financial solutions. These are short-term liquidity options designed to help you bridge a gap. When used responsibly, they can be extremely helpful in an emergency. When abused, they can become a crutch. And my goal here is to show you what is available so you can make an informed decision. Now, I'm going to move fairly quickly through each option, and if you want a deeper breakdown or you would like me to create a standalone video review on each of these platforms, please let me know in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to do that for you. Now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first app that we're going to discuss today is Varo. Now, Varo offers a cash advance feature that allows you to borrow up to $500 with no credit check. Varo Advance does not charge late fees, prepayment penalties, or interest, making this a no hidden fee option for cash advances. A flat upfront fee is charged based on the amount borrowed, and that fee can range from $1.60 to $40. And once approved, you'll receive the money in your Varo bank account instantly for no additional fee. You then choose a date for Varo to auto withdraw repayments to your account, and that can be anywhere between 15 and 30 days after receiving the advance. If you're unable to repay the advance within 30 days, Varo will continue to deduct funds from your Varo bank account until you're caught up, and you likely won't be eligible to take out another advance during that time. That instant funding aspect is a big deal. There's no waiting period, there's no processing delay, and no wondering when the money will hit. However, you must have a Varo checking account to access the cash advance feature. The good news is that the account itself is free to open, and it is also how the funds are delivered instantly. So while this may sound like an extra step, it's actually what makes the instant funding possible. Beyond the cash advance, Varo also offers additional financial tools, including a credit builder and a separate credit line product. Now, it's important not to confuse these two. The cash advance has no credit check and caps at $500. The credit line can go higher, but it does involve a credit check. And one more thing to keep in mind is, yes, you need to show a history of direct deposits to get a Varo advance. Varo requires you to show a combined total of $800 or more in qualifying direct deposits made to your Varo bank account in either the current or previous calendar month. If your goal is strictly quick access to cash without a credit pull, the cash advance is a feature that you're going to be looking at. That said, later in this video, I'm also going to show you an alternative that allows you to borrow a similar amount with no fees at all, so stay with me. Next up is LendMe, and this one works very differently from everything else on this list. LendMe is not a traditional lender, it's a peer-to-peer lending platform. So that means that instead of a bank deciding whether you're approved, individual investors get to decide whether they want to fund your loan request. Now, here's why this matters. When banks make lending decisions, they rely heavily on credit scores, underwriting models, and risk algorithms. LendMe removes the bank from the equation entirely, and instead you submit a loan request, and then real people will decide whether or not they want to lend you money. Now, you can request anywhere from $50 to $5,000 once your request is live. Investors on the platform can send you loan offers. You then review those offers and choose the one that works best for you. Because this is a peer-to-peer lending, credit scores are not the deciding factor. Now, that doesn't mean credit scores don't matter at all, but it does mean that borrowers with lower scores or limited credit history have access to opportunities that they would never get through a traditional lender. Checking your rate will only be a soft inquiry, which does not impact your credit score. Now, after you agree on a loan, there will be a hard card pool, which does impact your credit score. Now, let's be realistic. If you have very poor credit, then you probably will not get the best interest rates or the best terms, but access still does matter. And for many people, getting approved at all is the hardest part. Now, once you accept an offer, the funds are typically deposited into your bank account within 1 to 2 business days. Now, this is not instant funding, but it's still relatively fast compared to traditional personal loans. LendMe is best suited for people who need larger amounts than typical cash advances, and they are willing to accept repayment terms set by individual lenders instead of a bank. Now, let's talk about MoneyLion, which is one of the most feature-rich financial apps on the market. MoneyLion offers checking accounts, savings accounts, credit builder loans, credit monitoring, investing tools, and even a credit card. But the feature we're focusing on today will be Instacash. Instacash allows you to borrow up to $500 with no credit check and no interest, and that alone makes it very competitive with other apps on this list. You also have the option to receive your funds instantly. Now, here's how the funding actually works. If you choose standard delivery, the money is deposited into your linked bank account within 1 to 5 business days, and there's no fee. Now, if you want instant access, there's a small turbo fee. Unlike something like Varo, MoneyLion doesn't require you to open a new checking account to qualify. You can link an existing account where you receive your direct deposit instead. However, your bank account must meet certain criteria. It needs to be at least a couple of months old, again, have a history of direct deposits, and maintains a positive balance and shows regular activity. You will also need to complete identity verification, which can include submitting your social security number or other identification things like driver's license, and this is strictly for identity verification purposes. It does not involve a credit check. Some users are able to raise their limit from $500 to $1,000. However, to do this, you need to open a Roar Money account. That makes MoneyLion a strong option if you're looking for something that can grow with you rather than just staying capped indefinitely. The next option on this list is OneWork, previously known as Even, and this one is important to understand because it's not a loan. OneWork allows you to access a portion of your earned wages before payday. There's no interest, there's no credit check, there's no repayment in the traditional sense. You're simply accessing money that you have already earned. This feature is also called InstaPay, and it works for employees at partner companies such as Walmart, and you can access up to 50% of your earned but unpaid wages before payday. So again, it's not a loan, but an advance on your own money with no hidden interest fees and no additional costs. But the biggest limitation is that your employer must be partnered with OneWork. If they're not, you cannot use this service. For people whose employers do participate, this can be one of the cleanest ways to access quick cash without fees or debt. Now, you're not borrowing against the future, you're accessing income that's already yours. The option is ideal for people who want simplicity and do not want to deal with long terms at all. Now, coming up next on the list is one that I'm sure everyone already knows, and that's Chime. So Chime works by giving you an advance on your paycheck ranging from $20 to $500, and this feature is known as Chime MyPay. Now, to determine your MyPay eligibility, Chime will look at your Chime checking account history, including any reoccurring direct deposits from your employer. You'll also need to have an activated physical Chime card, and Chime doesn't conduct a credit check. Once approved, you'll receive the advance amount in your Chime checking account within 24 hours. If you choose to pay the fast funding fee, a flat $2, you'll receive the money instantly. Chime will then auto withdraw the advance amount plus any fees on the date of your next direct deposit. Chime doesn't offer the option to extend your payment due date, and if it makes 4 unsuccessful repayment attempts in a row, you'll no longer have access to MyPay. Like most options on this list, your initial advance limit may be as low as $100, and this limit is recalculated every time you receive direct deposit in your Chime checking account, so you want to keep that in mind. The final app that we're going to cover today is Grid. Now, Grid offers a cash advance of up to $200 with no interest and no late fees, as well as no credit check, and approval is instant and the process is fairly simple. However, there is a trade-off. Initially, you'll receive lower amounts than $200 with this app, and it also requires a $10 per month Grid Plus membership. The free version of Grid doesn't include any cash advance features and only provides access to their Pay Boost feature, which does allow users to access a portion of their tax return early. You also need to link an existing bank account, and while Grid supports most banks, there are a few exclusions. Now, when you step back and look at the numbers, paying $10 per month for access to a $200 advance makes this less attractive than most other options on this list, especially when fee-free alternatives already exist. Now, Grid is not a bad product, but it's not my first recommendation. Before using any cash advance apps, it is worth checking a few alternatives that may cost less or help you finance with longer terms. In some cases, just earning extra money through a short-term side gig like ride sharing, freelancing, gig work, things like that can solve your issue. I have an entire video that I just made on this. If you wanted to make $1,000 in 24 hours, I'm gonna link that video right here. There's also things like buy now, pay later services like Affirm, Klarna, Afterpay. Some of those can be useful if the expense is a specific purchase that you're trying to make. Now, these plans typically let you split costs into smaller payments with no interest and minimal credit requirements. Borrowing from friends or family is another option, especially if you can clearly agree on repayment terms. Small personal loans or credit union loans may also be available, often with lower rates and better terms than cash advance apps. Now, if you can't qualify for a personal loan or a basic credit card, that usually points to challenged credit. And in that case, I recommend starting with a credit monitoring service like Rising, where you can access all 3 credit reports for $1 using their 7-day free trial. From there, you can begin cleaning up any negative items or moving into credit building strategies, which I do cover step by step in my credit repair playlist. I'm going to link that down in the description below, as well as, again, a link to Rising. The goal is not just quick cash, but building financial leverage so that you don't need these apps long term. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. When it comes to quick access to cash, not all options are created equal. Some apps prioritize speed, some prioritize flexibility, and others prioritize long-term engagement. The key is understanding what you actually need. If you want the lowest cost option, things like Chime MyPay is a strong choice for most people, or if you need peer-to-peer loans with flexible approval criteria, then Lendme is worth exploring. And if you want a feature-rich platform that can grow your income, then MoneyLion might make sense. But the important thing is that you're informed before you apply. Once again, I truly appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. If you found this helpful, then make sure to check out the links down in the description and subscribe for more content like this one. And you guys have a wonderful day.